aware of who they are. So you had Dale Danks, but let's not move it. You had Kane Diddle, who was the mayor after Danks, and Kane Diddle had 2 terms. His first term, and again, this is directly linked to a lot of our brothers and sisters out here that you want to look around and say, these young people and this, well, we're going to give you some of the root. So you can punch up as much as you punch down. And then when I see all of these questions, how will Jackson move forward? That's how you move forward very quickly. So when you look at the fact that then Kane Diddle came in under him is when CCI actually got created, under Kane Diddle, right? He had 2 terms. The second term, a lot of the members of the city got together and said, let's pick one. This was going to be your first African-American mayor of Jackson. Let's pick one person to run, right? And everybody, and I've spoken to enough of our wise folks here from every side of the track here in Jackson that were sitting in these meetings. When Harvey said, yes, we'll go with one person, whoever's selected, right? Everyone in Jackson gets to pick. Which was Henry Kirsten. Yeah, exactly. Creedell Calhoun, who also had a great shot at running for mayor, agreed to the process. We'll pick one, and who comes out of that? Brother Henry came out of it, rest in peace. Calhoun respected it, didn't run, as everyone knows. You know about memory when I'm running. Who else ran? The one that ran. Kane. No, not Kane. No, the first African American became the first African American. Harvey Johnson. Harvey Johnson decides to renege on the group agreement. Wasn't anything illegal, we're saying. We're not accusing him of stealing, except morally from the people. But he reneged at that point and decided to go ahead and run, which split the vote. And Kane Diddle won. And that 4 years was the most destructive 4 years to Jackson, and we're still living in that now. That second term of Kane Diddle, when Mayor John Horn helped Kane Diddle against the will of the black business community, which is why Farish Street was not included in the business improvement district that downtown Jackson Partners, then CCI, has control over. Then Senator Horn tried to force the black community to put Farish in it. And those leading, sometimes you hear me talk about these gummy bear back Negroes, right, that are leading us right now. Their fathers, or those that came before them, weren't gummy bear back Negroes. And when they tried to pull Farish Street in it, they looked at John Horn like just what he was then. Like, well, if you don't get out our face, we're not letting you pull Farish in. We don't trust. And I can read to you what those old folks were saying. We don't trust nothing you touching. You sitting here telling us, John, and John was 3 years in. Who told him to do this? This is why I look at people's daddies all the time, everywhere. And you don't get mad at me for doing it. You keep quoting when the young men are acting up outside, where are their parents? Well, when these old men are acting up out here, where are their parents? We don't keep it on the same line. Where's John Horn's daddy and how who raised you? Same way with these kids out here shooting around. Who raised you? You've been giving Jackson away since 1996, John. Who raised you? And you got the right to ask me that. I was 19 once out there cutting up a fool. My mother getting calls and pictures of me. And people ask me, who raised you? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. John Horn, Terry Wilson, Crude Up, get all these people on this downtown Jackson partner right now, knowing that Tisdale passed away, suing CCI. They know CCI's downtown Jackson partners. They just think you don't know. And you didn't.
Man, let's get to a point where y'all letting him walk around like he ain't destroying y'all city. Like, y'all need to make this man feel so uncomfortable that he don't even want to be the mayor no more. Because he's really, y'all haven't seen an improvement. We ain't lied to y'all yet. We'll tell you the truth or we'll tell you a lie.
That's right. That's right. And I think that the key is as people learn, I'm sorry, I'm going to turn it around. I think that the truth is as Jackson learns more, if you knew better, you'd do better. That's fine. Look what we learned. A lot of this stuff you got to understand. We're running to 5 minutes before showtime. 5 minutes before we're moving into a different direction and realize, Houston, we have a problem. But to the young man's point, and this is why we say the young people don't really respect the older people the way they should. This is part of it. You sitting up here pointing down at these young people, and you know how many 50-plus-year-old people didn't know that downtown Jackson Partners used to be CCI and that basically all of Jackson, and I posted in that documentary, we posted it, all of Jackson and all the black politicians were against them. Back when you had politicians trying to get something for all of the community.
Oh, it gets deeper with Henry Kirksey, too.
Yes, it does.
It's real deep. We got a call already.
Oh, already, off the rip. I like that.
Welcome to Make Sense. Call you on the air.
Yes.
Welcome to Make Sense. Call it. Or can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm still talking for what I'm getting. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm trying to see where you're going because I'm a native of Jackson from my early years, 2 years old. And I've seen Jackson really been reconstructed. I've seen Jackson been taken away. I'm looking at the, yes, I can hear you. I'm looking at how Jackson has been carried away since 2 years old. And I've been around to see things that are changing. What they're doing is taking everything good out of Jackson. What I mean, our surrounding cities. Now, the cities that Flowood now don't have Lil Wayne. What's wrong with the Coliseum? What happened to Fairmount Hall when they let it deliberately? They let it deliberately be decapitated with what they did because they have a sonic system that tells them what's wrong with the air if the air go out. Okay, now all this stuff is picked apart in a different way. Everything. Now JSU do have the Memorial Stadium where they used to play ball. Mississippi State used to come in here to play ball. Ole Miss. See, the thing of it is they're stretching everything out of proportion because we're not paying attention. We need to take hold to ourselves. Get this city together, clean up what we got. It may not be in our generation, but if we start and put our heads together, we're unstoppable. Everything we're spending, money we're spending, we're taking it over in their area. Drop out with going to some of the restaurants. If you do that, you'll put a dent in their pocket so they'll come back to Jackson because they know, you know why? We is where the money is spent. And we have to have guys like you that's reawakening to help us to stand up and be strong. There's no sense of this city looking like this as high as taxes are. Taxes too high. Property taxes too high. Being ran down, you go there, their taxes are low. They tax are low. See, a lot of things, and we're talking about is the depression. The depression is looking at us going over spending our money.
That's right.
And when we don't have the money to spend, we stay going over there $70, $80 for a meal. And see, come back over here, we don't have nowhere to do it. But if they're going to move where the money is, so if they keep moving out west, they keep moving in Pearl and beyond, they building cities. And once they build these cities, they need our money to support them. We need to have an enlightenment to see where we stand and what we're going to do. Because other than that, Lil Wayne, how do you think Lil Wayne, man, coming to where?
Flowood.
Amphitheater.
Yeah.
Man, do you believe that?
And they're gonna have them marching like they're in a concentration camp just to go see him in Brandon.
You know.
You better not smoke nothing, smell like nothing. You better not even dance too much. Because Brandon gonna be ready to jump on you.
Yeah. Look at what they have there. Look at that big, beautiful building they had. And now it has been used, and I don't know when. We used to have concerts there growing up. People see that's money. That's bringing money into the city.
Yeah.
If a mayor is not doing nothing to bring money to the city, he's taking money out of the city. Now, am I right?
That's absolutely correct, my brother.
Add to it, he's taking money out. And it's just not a black or white thing. It's a right thing.
That's right.
We need to start standing up and saying what we're going to do. When we get that money, we need to know how that money's spent. We need to know where it's going. And I appreciate y'all for giving us future, these that are younger, giving us future of what's going on. You're going way back when you're talking about Kane Ditto.
Yes, sir. And Dale Danks. Yes, sir.
And look, you stay strong.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, my brother. Keep listening.
All right.
All right. And I appreciate that, brother. You called in the show today. I appreciate it. I stole 601-948-5950. Big up to that, brother. Those are our core, right? They know our number, but 601-948-5950. To the brother's point, the reason, and shout out to Brother Akil, who was one of our first hosts, who actually taught me a lot of how to come at these issues. But the reason that I went so deep, and we went so deep, there's a lot of research going around this whole circle, right? And a lot of effort from everyone on this team. The reason we went so deep was because we didn't want people to be able to wriggle out of this one. And this really is for you 50-year-old Jacksonians, you 60, like my brother just called in, you said you didn't know. Because back then, listen, first understand to get this, I'm not going to say that because then they're going to shut that source out. I'm not going to say that. But let's just say you can't get to this information freely. Okay? And then, when this was happening 30 years ago, you just were happy. I was too young to really get as happy, but we were just happy we had representation. You've got to understand, those of us that were taught by our elders, right, is what you're getting from this show. We understand how it happened. So we were happy that we had representation. So, of course, if we just came from the 39, 49, You talking about anti-lynching. 59, 69, you're just trying to integrate and be able to eat where everyone else eats. So now you're talking about 79, 85 when we got these new council members, when we're round about. You believe what every black representative tells you. And that is not your fault. We're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. Black people as a whole didn't have access to any of this. You gave 3 people access to it, so those 3 people had the responsibility. That's what the talented 10th is about if you want to be that. If you're not being that, you're just a thief. But when 3 black city council members come on, those 3 hold the weight of that city on their shoulders. And don't be so weak that it's too much. It wasn't too much for Fannie and the rest of it. It wasn't too much for Menger. He didn't stop under threats, knowing what was coming. So you shut that up when you say that's too much. You 3 people were the ones that were supposed to carry us through because the rest of us just believed representation was enough. Then what happened? 30 years later, we see that Mayor Horn, who had the strongest representation at that time, came in 3 years in. How is that not a plan? How 3 years in as a black senator, you moved to Jackson at 3 weeks old. You make a point to say that. Shout out to my brother talking about I've been in Jackson since I was 2 years old. Mayor Horn says in the paper when he wanted your vote, we moved to Jackson when I was 3 days old or 3 weeks old. So how is it that from the beginning you just have no love for Jackson? See, we weren't talking about Tisdale before. So you just heard us talking about somebody, right? Oh, the young man. Oh, well, you don't. Oh, no, let's talk about Charles Tisdale suing what is now Downtown Jackson partner for stealing money. And let's talk about the fact that Kane Ditto, he's sued for helping him steal the money. And John brings Kane on. You got to be kidding me, man. Listen, stop asking what's next. People that's hurt, but hurt because you see what this man is doing to you and you believed in him. It's okay to be tricked. When I was out in the streets doing stupid things at 18, 19, I was being tricked. We all get tricked. Everybody plays the fool. It's a song. Not just for women or for men. We play the fool sometimes. Don't worry about that. Don't betray your people. Get right and move forward. So all this time that's passing, John in here just banging this around like an elephant in a china shop. 96 you coming. And then now you got to take into context that he's claimed to have pushed over $1 billion through Jackson's economy. I think we need to quadruple look at where that money went, who the contractors were, who got that money. Because how did you push $1 billion through the economy, but your biggest win is a civil rights museum? Make that make sense. I could get that from my grandmother. But how is that your biggest win? A civil rights museum, and most of us had that connection before you put that museum up. We're in Mississippi. Candyland, Negro. You talking about my biggest achievement. Your biggest achievement in Mississippi should be helping the people, the former descendants of enslaved Africans, get better economically and get on a fair footing. And you talking about something I created a museum in 30 years and $1 billion later. I opened the museum. Kudos to me. No, what you did was you opened the doors to Downtown Jackson partner by pushing that bid legislation.
Who owned that museum? Kane did it.
Yes, Kane did. Speak, young man, speak. Does he own it? That's a big museum. Just not joke. Don't put everything on him, then we can't stick to stuff that's supposed to go on him, young man. I don't think he owns that. I think that's the state on this. But Kane, hold on, we can spin to Kane. Kane's done enough. You've got to understand. Johnny and Kane screwed the city. We're gonna say it. This is radio talk. And they really did it. If I was a politician, I'd say it. That's why these politicians are so weak here. How are you going to get in trouble for saying something someone else did on paper? So we put up a whole documentary. I apologize to you all for how fast that goes. That's a lot of information. So you're going to have to get your pause game on or slow it down if you need to. But each page is full of wealth. We don't talk about who was sleeping at whose house. We don't talk about who was drinking. We don't talk about whose kid, but we don't care about none of that. Facts of what happened. We pull newspaper articles, archives, and we show you. Now make that make sense. And that's why that upper echelon says, shh. Quiet, because there's some black folks that was holding hands with these white supremacists when they were dancing all through Jackson. And Mayor John Horn is one of them. Because when Sister Hurricane, or when Charles Tisdale is suing all of the people that you then invited into your campaign, make it make sense. That's what, and I ain't even been saying our show name as much lately. Make it make sense, John. And until, to KP's point, until you start making it uncomfortable, I know you got to catch some of these people in Madison. Go out to Madison and catch them there. We got to go out there for some things. If your child's an athlete, at a certain point, you're forced out there. That's what they do to us. They strip away our things, and you got to get some cleats. You got to get something. You run out of it. You're forced. You done went by you done went by 55. The one sports store we have. Now you're shooting out there. Ask him in front of him. You ain't got to be rude and ignorant. Excuse me, John. I've known you my whole life. Why did you go ahead and push that bid legislation?
Please.
Why did you try to put Farris Street in it?
Oh.
Now that we know that Kane Ditto was over CCI, he was the mastermind behind making sure, and Kane Ditto was the one that pushed for everything. And then we see Virgie Lindsay and Crudup shuffling to the board when you look at the video. The crew up has on a jumpsuit in that video deserves to be in there. You all are going to get what you deserve since you want to give these young people what they deserve. You shouldn't have done that. You should have been smarter with the way you interacted with them. You shouldn't have let them down like this and then turn around and attack them when you got that camera put in front of your face. Because I get a camera put in front of my face too, and I can speak better than you, and I can make points better than you. I feel like that. So listen. So you point at our young people, but you don't want to talk about what you did. So when the late Mayor Chokwe Lumumba tried to bring Costco's, and you go every time you drive to Costco, I hope it makes you wince. It should. It should. Every time you have to drive in Arizona to go to Costco's, it should make you wince. Because the late Mayor Chokwe Lumumba, Costco's is a, what do you call that? Not the far right, liberal organization. Do you remember when they started? Remember when all the people switched from Target and went to Costco's? Remember when the boycott happened to Target? And Costco was like, we didn't lift our DEI. If y'all remember that, think closely. And Costco started getting all these new members. Mm-hmm. So the late Chokwe Lumumba, they were the perfect match, meaning the city of Jackson. You know, and I don't want to bring this into his family, but his son said, the late mayor said, that the late mayor's son, the former mayor, Antar, said on what turned out to be, unfortunately, the beginning of him passing, when he was in the hospital, rushed to the hospital, he had a meeting that day. Y'all not going to let these Negroes keep just disrespecting people. He had a meeting that day with Costco. And as he's in the hospital and they setting him up, and we know what happened, he didn't make it through that. He says to his son, can you call Costco? Something to the effect of, and I apologize if I'm getting this wrong, something to the effect of, can you reach out, bring him in after the story, nothing not in the middle of it, can you reach out to Costco's and let them know I'm not ignoring them? That's how important Costco's was. Bring that call in and have him hold. That's how important Costco's was, because the former mayor knew thousands of jobs. Oh, look at the Costco's in Ridgeland. Aldi's is around it. There's a new Wendy's. It's a Chick-fil-A. It's our PetSmart they took from right up there on County Line. They took our PetSmart. They took our TJ Maxx. This is what happened. And when he did that, who stepped up? Virgie Lindsay. And we're going to talk more about that after we take this call.
Well, going to make sense, call Lee on there.
The two museums is the legacy of Haley Barbour.
Thank you, KP. You were right in the right lane.
What you say?
It's the legacy of Haley Barbour. Go on, my brother.
Yeah, that's true. Governor Haley Barbour.
Oh, so you were on the right track is what he's telling you by saying that you thought Kane did it wrong. Never be ashamed to jump out there. I promise. It's funny, but then listen, we get corrected together. And let me tell you something. God bless the child that could move forward in spite of knowing whether he's right or wrong if he has good intentions. You understand that?
I'm on one of them.
Yeah.
Also, Phil Bryan signed a bill in 2016 saying shooting museum was completed in time for the states by Sentinel.
So it's Haley Barbour's baby. Haley Barbour got a lot of friends in our black community. I'm just going to leave it there. Folks be hunting with him. They chill with. So it's Haley Barbour. Don't he own a church too? One of these brothers' church. I'm going to keep it because you got to watch it. I think he owns one of these brothers' church. I thought it was one of Crude Up's churches he preached at. Enough older people have talked. If I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. This is radio talk. Remember that one that said nappy headed? Yeah. But yeah, so that's big. So this is Haley Barbour's child that you're boasting of. After you moved $1 billion through, after you helped create the downtown improvement, that downtown Jackson Partners, after you doo-dooed on the memory of Charles Tisdale, after you doo-dooed on the memory of Stephanie Parker Weaver, after you doo-dooed on the memory of every single black leader, and Harvey Johnson, you helped him. See, this is reckoning that needs to happen while these folks are still here. You don't want to talk ill of the dead at all. That's why we stick to facts, and that's why we can still talk about it, right? And respect their families. Because we just talk about what articles say and what folks in the community say in numbers.
Can I keep going about the museum?
Yeah.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Well,
let me type what I say because you don't forget. Go ahead, let it happen.
The museum is administered by the Department of Archives and History, MDAH. Right? Okay. Now watch this. Ditto served as the president of the MDAH Board of Trustees.
The one the ball goes round
was
and
planned,
round,
constructed, and opened in
round,
2017.
the one the ball goes round and round. I'm saying that's perfect. That's so
he has something to do with it too.
So Kane, so you see this circle here. The alliance reconstructed. The circle starts. This is just disgusting, you all. I mean, I hope we got some international, some national listeners today, because we need some folks that are going to start to, and we do. Thank you. And I'm looking at it. We're going to have need to. I'm sorry, young man. You and Kane Ditto, John Horn and Kane Ditto, you two entered this together in '96. And what our question is next is what interactions did Mr. Horn Sr. have with these folks? That's what we have to. We don't understand why John would do this. So please understand. You know that 13-year-old kid you see outside, and y'all always love to say this, shooting with that bullets going everywhere, and you just can't understand. You know, you call us, what's wrong with these kids? And we've talked about it. What's wrong with this man? I don't know what y'all calling and saying that like y'all worry about the kids. 601-948-5950. Jackson, call in and say what's wrong with this man. You in shock now? Because you sure beat our lines down talking about some of these kids are the devil. Remember that lady? That some of these kids should die, be wiped off the face of the earth. They're out of control. Now we seeing their leader for 30 years trash this city, and ain't nobody calling in. Maybe they don't hear him. Let me just say it one more time, KP. 601-948-59. All y'all people that was calling about them babies? 50. The thugs and the hoodlums. We got a thug in the house. He been gang banging hard for 30 years. Started out listening to Project Pat, ended up listening to with Lil Wayne. That's how hard John been going. He probably got a rap. I don't even want to think about it.
He got the scrap on him too. I don't know.
Yeah, that scrap is called legislation.
Yep.
He just bust off on us. What you need? You need someone to sign up on bid? What you mean none of the other Negroes would do it? Let me call my daddy, see if he'll let me do it. This is what it's got to be. And listen, if you don't like me putting this on John Horn's daddy, Mr. Horn, who's with us, then you stop putting everything on these parents out there with a job, trying to get some type of food on their table in a food desert, ain't got nothing for their children to do. They getting paid $9 an hour, and the first thing your little silly self says is, where are the parents? Dummy, they at work. They trying to make it. And if they're not at work, they're trying to be there for their children. I don't care what type of state aid they take. You done murdered our babies, you done murdered our children, you done drained from us for as long as Mississippi's been built. And you got some black coons walking around here talking about it's these parents. Man, you should be ashamed of yourself, and your ancestors are spitting down on you from the heavens, hoping you don't reach it. This is disgusting. And when you watch the documentary, you understand. Here comes Virgil Lindsay. And then you're going to see Vernon Hartley on there looking like a little milk box baby because he got played. Ain't nobody bigging him up in that video. We just showing how he let y'all get played. He's pushing us out. Yeah, they pushing us out because you running around with foot in Ward 1. What you worry about your ward? Nobody says that. While Hartley's ward was getting snaked away, he over in Ward 1 with Foot over at the Cedars. Talking about the only one you can trust are me, Foot, and Stokes. Make it make sense. Here we go. Hopefully we have a caller calling in and make it make sense.
Please. Welcome to Make It Make Sense.
Turn your radio down for us, caller.
Hey, this is the old lady calling in again.
Well, we appreciate you.
Talk about what you're talking about. I know what they're talking about, what you're talking about. That's what the kingpin in this town.
Yes, ma'am.
So was.
A gangster. A true gangster.
Ooh.
Now you talking.
I know when they put Frank Nelson in there. They know what they were doing before they put him in there. I know he was going to be there. Because the white boys said they were going to put him there.
They said it. Now it's coming out.
They were doing to our city.
That's right.
They stripping our city down.
That's right.
And they taking everything out of our city, putting it up right around our city.
Mm-hmm.
So we be able to go over there across the state, the county line, and buy our stuff over there.
That's right.
And we don't have anything in our city. Where's our marketing people?
Yes, ma'am.
Jackson, standing up for Jackson.
You're absolutely right.
I'm trying to find them.
That's right. Well, you're with two right here, but we're going to keep calling them out. And let me tell you something. If they won't stand up, we'll replace them.
You every week, and I praise you guys. Y'all got it going on.
You're the reason we're doing it.
People out here in the neighborhood, we need to know who to go Jenkins Brickers and jank him down.
We love you, sister. We appreciate you. Keep listening, and we agree with you. We agree with you. Keep making it make sense, my sister. Listen, and I 100% approve that message. She said, jank him down. Listen to what I'm talking about when I say that message, right? That's a message of solidarity, okay? We got the calls coming in.
What's Make It Make Sense going to be on there?
Yes, I'm listening to the conversation, and I be so happy to see the show every day.
Well, thank
and
you.
I really want to say that black people money is important, because if black people money wasn't important, a lot of people would be running through Jackson now, trying to buy up everything and take everything from the people of Jackson. A lot of the crooks are right down there in the Capitol building in Super Ties.
That's right. That's right.
That's really doing it to us because they're working for the white people.
That's right.
And what they do to Jackson is very, very bad. And all they talk about is the children, but the children can't be too bad because they're running all around Jackson now, buying up everything. And one thing that will stop us is if we will take our money and keep it in our neighborhood.
Yes.
But
That part.
There you go.
That part.
you got cooks down there that's taking everything. But my suggestion would be to the black people of Jackson and surrounding areas, partner up with somebody, try not to spend no money in that area because they close everything you have in order to keep their stuff open.
That's right. That's right, sis. We appreciate you more than you know. We agree with your message 1,000%. Keep listening, my sister, and thank you.
She said a word.
She said a word.